Ready to start the main event? All right. You can take your seats. We'll get this thing kicked off. All right. Yeah, gavel. Rap. So, everybody enjoy a good dinner here this evening? All right. Yeah, thank you to the cooks there, Valley Catering that we have. Thank you so much. So, I wish you all a good evening. I'm happy to see you all here, and thank you so much for coming. I personally am very proud of you all. My name is Brad Probst. I'm a member of the Corvallis Oddfellows, your hosts here tonight. And I want to welcome you to our second annual Unsung Heroes Award ceremony. The phrase, "It takes one to know one," rings true tonight. The Oddfellows have a long tradition of volunteerism and community service that goes back literally centuries. In our early history, when the organization received its name, it was considered odd that a group would help people in need without requesting any sort of compensation. We have continued with this fine tradition to this day, and our tasks include original ones like caretaking our historic Oddfellows Cemetery. Perhaps some of you have been to it here in Corvallis. And of course, assisting people in distress. We've branched out into projects like planting trees across our community and sharing environmental education, which benefits us all. We continue to be open to new avenues of service. With the use of our hall and our rental proceeds, we often support and collaborate with other nonprofits for countless issues and causes. I mention our volunteerism here tonight, both to introduce you to the organization that is honoring you and to explain that we understand and deeply appreciate your spectacular volunteerism. We know that the most valuable commodity in all creation is our time. And you have not waited to do what has to happen now. You have not been delayed by the lack of funding, budget cuts, or current politics. We know the sheer power of volunteerism, contributing your time and energy to bring into existence the changes in this world that we must see now. These things created instantly before our eyes, at our fingertips, minute by minute, hour after hour, day after day, and miraculously year after year. And what a spectacular creation everybody in this room is working towards. You may not be Oddfellows, but as Oddfellows, we recognize your service and are thankful from the bottom of our hearts. Those honored here tonight exhibit those particular qualities which we consider to be the shining attributes, earning you recognition as the backbone of community service, our unsung heroes. And I applaud you. Again this year, to bestow these awards, we're honored to have with us tonight the mayor of Corvallis, Bip Traber. A warm welcome for Bip.
All right. Good evening, all. I was going to say hello to the Oddfellows, but also hello to all the guests who are here this evening. I do want to take a moment. I couldn't do near the job about what these awards are about and who they're recognizing, the volunteers and the volunteerism that Rob already went through. But I did want to pause and just, thank the Oddfellows for allowing me to be part of this ceremony, allowing me to recognize these individuals who are so important to the community. It's my honor to be here to recognize these unsung heroes, and I'm delighted this is now the second annual, and I urge that it continues on and on. So we're recognizing unsung heroes, and that to me is particularly important. In Corvallis, we depend, the city that we are depends on volunteers, depends on organizations staffed by volunteers who provide a whole range of services and other activities that create, I won't go into a discussion, is it most or a lot of, or, but it's what makes Corvallis what it is how so many people work, give selflessly to be able to make this happen. Some of those people are recognized as we go along. We do have other ceremonies. We've got Celebrate Corvallis once a year that recognizes a few individuals. But those are important people, but most of those who are making this all happen aren't recognized. Back to the unsung heroes. And when I first heard of the concept of these awards and that first unsung heroes, these are the people, you who are getting awards tonight, you who are coming along with them, are the people that do the work, that keep organizations going, enabling them to continue doing what they're trying to accomplish. And do it, not to get recognition, not to. And so the idea of being able to recognize award winners like tonight is very important to me, and I'm glad I can be part of that. And I'm glad the Oddfellows had invited me to come do this. So I did want to mention again, I like some of the phrases that the Oddfellows use when they're describing who are candidates and the like, when they talk about someone who flies under the radar, they just do the work, has not been recognized or even expected to be recognized, is reliable, an integral part of the organization. Reading through these descriptions tonight, that just, all of those were a key part of aspects of the individuals being recognized. People who are consistent, passionate, humble, and dedicated. 4 key words on how to make this all happen. So your organizations were asked to nominate their unsung heroes. We have 6 unsung heroes here tonight, 6 organizations. And I get to have the pleasure to be able to recognize these individuals, express appreciation for them, and be part of this. And so let me go ahead and start. I've had enough of the front end. I need to start talking about some people for real. And let's see. Does it matter which order from the envelopes or I was going, all right.
No, in the program it's alphabetical.
And are these from what's in the program? Anyway, I'm happy to go either way.
Do you have a program?
I have a list of words to be able to describing people, and I'll be happy to. Shall I go? Okay, I'm happy to do that. I didn't even think about the program. All right. Now you'll have to bear with me as I sort paper. So, what's that?
You've had practice.
Yes, I have practice ad-libbing things at council meetings. And though, as I was telling the people at my table, you all may not realize it, but when I started in this job, running council meetings is a real challenge to me. And so I started the practice of taking the agenda, pulling it apart so I could put notes in, so that I had almost a script of what I wanted to say on each agenda item, what I had to remember to point out at the beginning of each agenda item, and I still do that. So this was where, even though I still look like sometimes I'm jumping from place to place, there's a lot of it already down. It would be so much worse if I didn't have pieces of paper in front of me to tell me where to go. Anyway, so the first unsung hero tonight comes from Grace Center for Adult Day Services, and that's Judy Brizzy. And we'll be back to applaud for her in a moment. So Judy has volunteered at the Grace Center on a weekly basis since 2015 as a greeter. She also volunteers on the Capital Campaign Committee and attends all the center's events and fundraisers, stepping forward to arrange musicians and food for events. She is passionate about the Grace Center from firsthand knowledge. She used the center's services for her husband, and since then has been an avid supporter and community voice for the center's mission and work. She is a get-it-done kind of volunteer and never seeks acknowledgement for her efforts. She is known to be reliable, flexible, dedicated, thoughtful, willing, and passionate. Wow. She vocally supports the center to the public, including writing a letter to the editor to advocate for the Grace Center. She can be counted on to never miss a meeting or a volunteer shift. The staff at Grace Center are honored to name Judy as their unsung hero for her unwavering dedication to provide these important services to people in need in our community. She truly makes Corvallis a better place. Absolutely. So Judy, where are you? And I think since we are actually videoing this for broadcast and you've gone through the forms, you do need to come up here and let me shake your hand and capture it on the camera and say congratulations and thank you.
Thank you.
I appreciate your work.
Thank you to the
Everybody here
Oddfellows and
does.
to Grace Center for nominating
Would
me.
you like to say anything more?
I'd just like to say that because my husband was at Grace Center for several years, they supported me during that time. And I think that I feel hopefully that I'm providing some support for the staff there who are so dedicated in return for what they gave me. And I guess that's about it. Yeah.
Thank you again. Okay, where? So the next unsung hero is Cindy D'Angelillo. Is that close enough, or you'll have to come up and correct me? My apologies, but from CASA, Voices for Children. Cindy has been an advocate for CASA for about 6 years, and in that time has always been consistent and reliable in her endeavors. Her first assignment was a very complex and emotionally difficult case, which lasted 5.5 years, while the average duration is 2 years. Throughout this time, Cindy remained a consistent presence in the lives of her CASA children. She passionately advocated for their best interests without wavering, going above and beyond, until they found a stable and loving home. At the close of this case, despite 5 years of working so closely with these children, Cindy said that if these children preferred to close this chapter in their lives and not see her again, she would understand. She wanted what was best for them, despite her strong feelings. Cindy has not only been an advocate for CASA for 6 years, but she has been a lifelong and passionate defender of children. The staff as a whole nominated Cindy because she exudes the qualities of CASA. She has changed the life of each child she passionately advocated for. This community is enriched by her dedication to children. She is truly an unsung hero. Come forward, Cindy. Thank you, and congratulations.
Thank you.
And how do you pronounce your last name?
Even my mom can't say it. So. Okay. A lot better. D'Angelillo.
D'Angelillo.
D'Angelillo. Yeah, we can.
Separate it. Yes. Do you want to say
Thanks.
anything?
I do.
Okay, go right
ahead. I feel so lucky that I live in Benton County, where what I see is that everybody in this community pitches in and pulls really hard for kids. I met more heroes in the 5.5 years that my kids were in foster care before they went to adoption than ever in my life. And the CASA staff themselves, they're amazing and incredible, and they really actually did the hard work. saved my behind, I don't know how many times, from lawyers who weren't too happy, or supervisors at child welfare who were not too happy. So they did that, and my kid's lawyer was amazing. Joan is my personal hero. Jan, my guest tonight, who's a public health home visiting nurse. Without Jan's persistence and her gumption and her not giving up, my kids would still be living that nightmare. School teachers, medical staff, ABC House, I can't believe the amount of people who really did the work. Thanks.
Thank you. Shuffling paper, excuse me. There we go. And given you all have the program, you know the next one up, next unsung hero that we want to recognize tonight is Louise Farrell from the Mid-Valley Healthcare Advocates. So a round of applause. So Louise has been volunteering with the Mid-Valley Healthcare Advocates for at least 10 years. She is the first one there and the last one to leave when setting up for monthly meetings, no matter the hour. She is not only the treasurer, but an active member of the Finance Committee and Board of Directors, where she significantly advised on how to maintain legal and understandable financial records. She is known to be a deep, wise, insightful thinker and observer. She is courageous and unwavering in her convictions, all the while remaining open-minded. Louise is a quiet observer and thinker who joins in at pivotal times to group conversations to help reach consensus. Her advice is practical, simple, and appropriate. Louise is a friend and colleague to Mid-Valley Healthcare Advocates. The Board of Directors unanimously names her as their unsung hero. While she objects to being in the limelight, we want to honor her for her unwavering dedication to the health of our community and beyond, and give her a little bit of limelight this evening. So, thank you, Louise. So congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you. Do you want to say some things?
The reason that I am unsung is that I am a numbers person, not a words person. So I brought along 5 people who are all words people, and I'll ask each one of them to name a country that covers, with health care, more people at less cost than the United States. Can you go around, each one of you name one?
France.
Switzerland, Canada, Turkey, Cuba.
All right. Thank you very much.
See, there you go, the insightful thinker and observer who actually got a lesson for all of us about where we ought to be achieving, where we ought to be looking to achieve what we ought to achieve here. So next I have, let me get the piece of paper first, excuse me, is Jan Harmon from the Whiteside Theater Foundation. Jan? I was looking around at different tables thinking the heroes were all spread throughout. So anyway, Jan has volunteered at Whiteside since the beginning of the foundation and has served twice on the board of directors. She functions as the theater's owner's representative for many facility projects, working with the various contractors to ensure the work is thorough and accurate. She makes herself available for everything from working the box office to installing paper towels and washing the rags. No one who isn't utterly passionate about the Whiteside would do what she has done. Jan also spends countless hours successfully writing grants. She is smart, detail-oriented, and highly organized. She inspires loyalty in others because she works so hard herself, often volunteering for tasks she doesn't necessarily want to do because she knows it must be done. Jan is a large part of why the theater is doing so well. She's a key member of the group that's trying to bring this old theater back to life as a multi-purpose entertainment and events venue. We all benefit by her dedication to enhancing the economic vitality and cultural diversity of downtown Corvallis and the entire community. I agree. Whiteside is proud to designate her as their unsung hero. Thank you, Jan. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Congratulations. Did you want to say anything, or am I putting too much pressure on you?
Too much pressure.
Not a problem. I just think of an individual who goes everywhere from managing contractors and getting things done right down to installing paper towels and making sure the basic things are there. Thank you very much. Next. There we go. Next on the program is from Vina Moses Center, Marge Loper. Marge, where are you? Oh, there you are, right in front of me. Excuse me, Marge. And I did see you earlier. I'm sorry. I just got a wave as I'm looking around on the horizons. Excuse me. So Marge Loper has been a reliable volunteer at the Vina Moses Center for over 40 years. Wow, yes. She embodies what a volunteer can and should be. If she says she will take on a task, no one has to worry about it again. She will get it done. She was one of the founders of the FISH program 40 plus years ago and has managed the donor database for years, which can be a tedious and thankless task at times. And FISH is so important. Marge is known to be loyal, dedicated, and organized. She shares ideas for making fundraising and program improvements, and her modesty is evident in her loyalty. Marge also volunteers with her church, knitting shawls for the sick and providing support to those who've lost a loved one. Vina Moses Center would be lost without Marge and are expressing their gratitude by naming her their unsung hero. She is a loving, giving member of our community, evidenced by her selfless volunteering at Vina Moses Center for so many years. Thank you, Marge. First, if I can shake your hand and say thank you and congratulations.
Thank you.
And that's for you.
Thank you.
Did you want to say a few things?
Yes, if I may.
Yeah, I noticed you seem to have a piece of paper with you.
If I may.
You definitely may. Take your time.
Thank you.
Make sure that-
As it said, I volunteer at the Vina Moses Center. The mission of the Vina Moses Center is to help and serve those in Benton County who need assistance by providing the necessary day-to-day basic needs for their families and themselves. On June 7th, 2018, Vina Moses celebrated 100 years of service. In 1918, Vina Moses and some of her friends began gathering clothing and household items together to those who were in need. Today, the center serves over 3,000 families. Once a month, these families can come to the center and shop for whatever they need: clothing, household goods, such as dishes, pots, pans, linens, appliances, books, puzzles, toys, whatever they need. It's always so gratifying when a mother or a father, even a child, finds just the right thing, what they really want or really need. Just last week, a young mother found a scooter for her son's 7th birthday. She was telling Angela, our receptionist, that all the other children in the neighborhood had scooters and bikes, but her son did not. She was ecstatic. Each year, the center sponsors 2 events, the school program and the Christmas program. The parents sign up to shop with their children at each of these events. The shopping times do not count against their monthly shopping. All of this is possible through the because of this, the best part of these programs is that there is no charge for anything that our clients get. It is through the donations of our donors, that both material and financial, that Vine of Moses is able to fulfill its mission. I'd like to thank Christine for nominating me for this honor, and to the Oddfellows for allowing me to talk about my favorite nonprofit.
A wonderful nonprofit.
Yes, it is.
All right, there we go. So next up is Marge Reed from Chintimony Wildlife Center. Is she here this evening, or? She's not. Okay, that's what I was wondering, having sat at the Chintimony table. So I didn't know whether to go around and look for a hand, but Marge has volunteered at the Chintimony Wildlife Center since 2012 and volunteers several days per week. She serves as shift leader and is responsible for onboarding new volunteers in addition to usual animal care duties. Her joy for this work shines through, and she is rarely seen without a smile. The work at Chintimony can be difficult, dirty, and sometimes sad, but Marge can always be counted on to be cheerful. She shows kindness and gratitude to every other volunteer, donor, and wildlife rescuer she encounters. She is constantly heard and seen thanking others rather than waiting to be appreciated herself. Marge works well or with others. Her consistency and reliability have led her to take on a great deal of responsibility in the center's animal care program. She is heavily relied upon to ensure that all the animals are well taken care of. Marge also capably manages the center's mouse house. This community and the wildlife at Chintimony are very lucky to be able to depend on Marge for providing outstanding care and leadership. Excuse me. Oh, that was bad. Sorry. Chintimony Wildlife Center is proud to declare Marge their unsung hero. So, thank you, Marge. And we have Sara Spangler here tonight to receive the award for her. Did you wish to say something, Sara?
I would. Marge takes her duty as an unsung hero so seriously that she scheduled a knee replacement for a couple days ago just so that we couldn't brag about her and celebrate her tonight. And so the silver lining to that dark cloud is that it's me who gets to talk about Marge, because I know that, like many of our unsung heroes tonight, she would be more quick to acknowledge other people and thank other people than to really fully accept that award for herself. So Marge is very terrific, and working with animals and trying to serve animals, it's really easy to overlook the fact that we don't really have wildlife as our partners. We really have people as the tool for change. And so to find a volunteer like Marge, who is as fantastic with caring for those animals and showing compassion to animals, she's equally, if not better, at showing compassion towards people. And so we're very grateful to have Marge and all of the work that she does, and for just being such a shining light in the difficult work that we do. So thank you, Marge. I hope that you're at home watching and giving yourself a big pat on the back.
So thank you, Sara, and I believe this will actually be being rebroadcast on the community access media. It was at Channel 29, so I don't know what the schedule is, but you can make sure she knows what it is and when to watch for her limelight. And so the last one this evening is from Room at the Inn, Karen Sunseth, who I know. I was going to say, I know her in a totally different role with a different organization, so we're talking about unsung heroes in a couple of organizations. And tonight when I saw this from the Room at the Inn, I'm going, all right. Karen can always be trusted to show up for her volunteer shifts and has been an excellent mentor to new volunteers. She has worked with Room at the Inn for all 5 years the shelter has been open. She was quick to fill in when she realized having churches take 1 week was not going to work and has been volunteering consistently since. She is known to be calm, consistent, and wise in dealing with the sometimes challenging situations that can arise at a shelter. Yep. She is willing to work all volunteer shifts. Karen was one of the first to volunteer to organize the fundraising tea benefit. She handled most of the auction organization and worked well with others to make this successful event happen. Karen radiates a confidence that is so essential when dealing with crises or challenging situations. She does not seek the spotlight, but does what is needed. Because of this, she may be taken for granted. The Room at the Inn feels she deserves to be recognized for all she does to make this community a safer, more welcoming place for women who are without a home. They want her to know she is valued and is their unsung hero. Thank you, Karen. Thank you. Congratulations. And that's for you. Thank you. And the microphone's yours too.
Thank you. Well, I'm truly honored and humbled by the recognition of this award. And I'm just one, as in all of you, with all of your volunteering. I'm just one in a network of people who help make the Room at the Inn happen. Sarah Powers, who nominated me, thank you very much, is the life breath of our organization. She's the one that brought it to the Methodist Church. And then Ilea Schaefer is also at our table, and she is our case manager. And she helps women work through their personal goals and hopefully transition into full-time permanent housing. Volunteering at the Room at the Inn helps to ground me. It keeps me aware of how blessed and how easy my life has been. And it's my small way of giving back. The homeless situation so many times seems hopeless and unmanageable. And I, like many, wonder what kind of difference we can make. I hope that with the efforts of so many people that help create the Room at the Inn, that we at least provide a dry, welcoming place for our most vulnerable sisters of the community, to have a safe place to sleep, and nourishing food to end and to begin the day. I enjoy meeting the women who stay there. I learn so much by listening to the bits and pieces of the lives that they care to share with me. It gives me a small insight into their worldview. I also enjoy working with the other volunteers who easily share their good energy. And I'm proud to be a part of the network of people that make Room at the Inn a positive piece of our community. And thank you very much.
I was going to say those are this year's unsung heroes, and they are all amazing. Very impressive what they do, what they have done. To borrow from a tiger in my generation on a cereal box, unsung heroes are great. So give another round of applause. And I also want to wrap up just doing one more time, acknowledging another group of unsung heroes, and that is the Corvallis Oddfellows. Those who bring this event and are brought forward this concept of recognizing the critical work going on that is too often inadequately or not recognized, is unsung. And so let's all thank the Oddfellows for doing this. Let me turn it back over to you.
All right. All right. Well, I can speak for all the Oddfellows to say that we are very honored to recognize such a fine group of people here tonight. And yeah, they're here. So at this point, I'd like to introduce you to the highest-ranking Corvallis Oddfellow. This is Charlie Carmichael, our Noble Grand, and he'll be doing our closing here this evening. So, welcome to the stage, Charlie Carmichael.
I'm new to public speaking, so this is a little bit more like speaking with a family, because with real humility, I appreciate everything you're doing. So I'd like to thank my team, those who made this event possible, starting with Elaine Kahn, who sort of took a lead on all this, Bonnie Tomsky, who is, yes, if you're willing to stand up.
I don't want to stand up.
Okay, you don't have to. Bonnie Tomsky, who is our leader in the Community Services Committee. Bob Griffith is my vice grand this year. My secretary, Kathy Lawrenson. You've already met Brad, he's a past grand, and Jean-Luc, who will be giving our last closing prayer today as our chaplain. So I'm to note, we are going to have photographs, a group photograph of the unsung heroes, so please stay after the event for that, if you're willing to stay. Really, what more can be said? I just want to say a little bit about Oddfellows in that if you have a little flyer, you might notice the 3 links, friendship, love, and truth. Little interpretation is the friendship is universal. The love is compassion for humanity, and the truth is to speak clearly and in a forthright way. Those are our guidelines. And with that, I just want to remind you that we are having an open house. You may have a little flyer there. October 27th, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m., I believe. And my vice grand would be leading that. So please, if you have questions about our organization and how we can assist you and how we can weave a better society together, working together. Because this event has changed my understanding of Oddfellows. And I hope that we can continue on this path, working together. So, just to close, if Jean-Luc, will you lead us in a prayer?
May you be healthy, may you be happy, may you know love, may you know peace. Be safe going home, careful, be safe, dark, be safe going home. Now, you put your pictures on?
I understand that. Thank you, John.